When did you realize someone hated you enough to ruin your life? I'm staring at Jessica's handwriting, and my coffee mug slips from my fingers, shattering against my kitchen floor. The ceramic pieces scatter everywhere, but I can't move. I can't breathe. Because right there, in her neat cursive that I've seen on birthday cards and grocery lists for the past 8 years, are the words that make my entire world collapse. Asterisk phase 3 complete. David finally broke up with her today. The fake screenshots of her sexting Marcus really sold it. He actually cried when he confronted me about Sarah's affair. Almost felt bad. Almost. Asterisk. My hands are shaking as I flip back through the journal I found wedged behind Jessica's couch cushions when I was helping her move last weekend. Page after page of dates, plans, and meticulous notes about destroying my life. My life. Written by the woman who was supposed to be my maid of honor in 3 months. Asterisk January 15th, 2023, Sarah got the promotion. My promotion. 5 years I've been at Morrison & Associates, and they give it to her after 18 months. Time to remind her that success has consequences. Asterisk. Asterisk February 3rd, 2023, told David that Sarah's been acting strange lately. Planted the seed. He looked concerned. Phase 1 initiated. Asterisk. Asterisk March 22nd, 2023, called Morrison's HR anonymously today. Reported Sarah for inappropriate conduct with clients and drinking during work hours. The beauty is she'll never suspect me. I left 6 months ago. Asterisk. I remember that day. I remember crying in my car after being escorted out of the building, completely blindsided by accusations I couldn't defend against. Jessica brought me wine and ice cream that night. She held me while I sobbed about losing my dream job, whispering that everything would be okay. The journal keeps going. 47 pages of systematic torture disguised as friendship. Asterisk April 18th, 2023, convinced Sarah's mom that she's been experimenting with substances. Showed her a photo of Sarah looking exhausted at Jenny's party. She'd just worked a double shift, but context is everything. Her mother's worried phone calls should add some nice stress. Asterisk. Asterisk June 30th, 2023, David's wavering. Time for the nuclear option. Creating fake text conversations between Sarah and Marcus shouldn't be too hard with the right apps. Asterisk. Asterisk September 14th, 2023, success. David ended their engagement today. Sarah's completely broken. She suspects nothing. Even asked me to help return the wedding dress. Asterisk. I helped her return my wedding dress. The dress she made me buy in the first place because she said the original one I'd chosen made me look desperate. The dress that cost $2,800 that I couldn't get refunded because I'd waited too long, thanks to Jessica insisting I think about it more. My phone buzzes. A text from Jessica herself. Coffee tomorrow? You seemed sad yesterday and I worry about you. Red heart. The heart emoji makes me want to vomit. I flipped to the most recent entry, dated 3 days ago. Asterisk Sarah's finally starting to break down properly. No job, no fiancé, family thinks she's on drugs. She's completely isolated except for me. Perfect. The best part? She actually thanked me yesterday for being the only person who believes in her. If she only knew that her rock bottom has a basement, and I'm just getting started. Asterisk. But there's more. Plans for phase 4 involving my landlord and some fabricated noise complaints. A strategy to make my remaining friends think I've been talking behind their backs. Even a note about contacting my therapist's office to cancel my appointments for my own good. 26 years old, and I thought I knew what betrayal felt like. I was wrong. This isn't betrayal. This is something else entirely. This is 2 years of my best friend treating my destruction like a hobby. I need to call David. I need to call my mother. I need to call everyone. But first, I'm taking pictures of every single page. My hands won't stop shaking as I photograph each page, but I force myself to document every single word. The camera flash illuminates Jessica's handwriting like evidence under interrogation lights. Because that's what this is now, evidence. Page 23 stops me cold. Asterisk May 14th, 2023, had dinner with David tonight. He's so easy to manipulate, just like Sarah always said. Told him about Sarah's gambling problem and how she's been hiding credit card debt. He ate it up. Men are so predictable when you cry and act concerned. Asterisk. Gambling problem? I bought maybe 10 lottery tickets in my entire life. But I remember David asking me weird questions around that time about my spending, about why I seemed secretive with my phone. I thought he was being paranoid. I thought we were just going through a rough patch. The next entry is worse. Asterisk May 20th, 2023, convinced Sarah to lend me $1,200 for my emergency dental work. She transferred it immediately, sweet girl. Obviously not paying it back, consider it compensation for the promotion that should have been mine. She hasn't even asked about it yet. Asterisk. My Venmo history. I need to check my Venmo history. I grab my phone with trembling fingers and scroll back through months of transactions. There it is, $1,200 to Jessica Chen, May 20th, 2023. The note I'd written says hope your tooth feels better soon. Red heart. She never had dental work. I remember now, she was eating corn on the cob at Memorial Day barbecue 2 weeks later, laughing about how she'd been so dramatic about the pain. The photographs are uploading to 3 different cloud accounts as I work. I'm not taking any chances of losing this evidence. Each page reveals another layer of calculated cruelty. Asterisk July 8th, 2023, Sarah's birthday party planning is getting annoying. She keeps asking my opinion on venues. Recommended the Riverside Pavilion knowing full well they double book events. Can't wait to see her face when 50 people show up to a closed for renovation sign. Asterisk. My birthday party. The most humiliating night of my life. I'd stood outside that locked venue in my new dress, calling everyone to apologize, while Jessica rubbed my back and said these things happen. She'd even suggested we all go to that awful sports bar instead, where the music was too loud and half my friends left early. But it's page 31 that makes me actually gasp out loud. Asterisk August 2nd, 2023, mailed Sarah's medical information to 3 random addresses in her neighborhood today. HIPAA violation complaints should be interesting. Got the records from when she asked me to pick up her anxiety medication last year. Trust is such a beautiful weapon. Asterisk. The pharmacy incident. Last September, I'd gotten a call from Walgreens about privacy concerns and had to switch pharmacies entirely. They wouldn't explain what happened, just kept apologizing and saying there had been an unauthorized disclosure. I'd assumed it was a system breach. It was Jessica. Jessica, who I trusted with my spare key. Jessica, who knew my middle name and birthday for identity verification. Jessica, who'd picked up my prescription when I had the flu and couldn't leave bed. My phone rings, making me jump so hard I nearly drop it. David's name flashes on the screen. For a split second, my heart leaps. Maybe he realizes he made a mistake. Maybe he wants to talk. Then I remember he doesn't know what I know yet. I let it go to voicemail, but immediately play the message. Sarah, it's me. Look, I know we said we wouldn't contact each other, but Jessica told me you've been struggling. She's worried about you. Really worried. She thinks you might need professional help, and honestly, after everything that's happened. His voice trails off. Just call someone, okay? Call your family. Jessica told him I'm struggling. Of course she did. I wonder what phase 4 really involves. I'm scrolling through my phone contacts, trying to decide who to call first, when I notice something that makes my stomach drop. Jessica's contact info shows she was last seen on WhatsApp just 3 minutes ago. 3 minutes ago. Right after David's voicemail. My blood turns to ice. She's been tracking this somehow. She has to be. There's no way it's a coincidence that David called me about getting professional help within hours of me finding this journal. I flip through more pages, looking for any mention of surveillance, and find this gem from last month. Asterisk November 3rd, 2023, Sarah still hasn't changed her Netflix password. It's still Butterscotch91, her childhood dog's name plus birth year, so predictable. Her watch history is depressing. 13 hours of true crime documentaries yesterday alone. David would be horrified to know his sweet ex-fiancée is obsessed with murder stories now. Might mention that to him next time. Asterisk. She's been in my Netflix account. She knows what I've been watching, probably sees when I'm awake late at night binge-watching shows because I can't sleep. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is she's right, I have been watching a lot of true crime lately. Stories about people who trusted the wrong person. Stories that, I'm realizing now, were trying to warn me. I immediately change every password I can think of. Netflix, Instagram, Venmo, banking apps, email accounts. My fingers are flying across the keyboard when I find page 38. Asterisk October 15th, 2023, Sarah's lease renewal is coming up in January. Time to start phase 4. Mr. Rodriguez, her landlord, seems like a reasonable man, but everyone has their limits. A few anonymous complaints about loud parties, maybe some evidence of property damage. She'll be out by February. Then she'll really have nowhere to go but back home to mommy and daddy in Ohio. Geographic isolation is the final step. Asterisk. Mr. Rodriguez. My landlord, who I've barely spoken to in 2 years because I'm a model tenant. I pay rent early, I don't make noise, I even shoveled the front walkway last winter without being asked. But Jessica knows where I live. She has my spare key, the one I gave her for emergencies. I need to check my apartment. Right now. I grab my keys and Jessica's journal, racing down 3 flights of stairs to my car. The drive to my place takes 12 minutes, but it feels like an hour. I keep checking my mirrors, paranoid that somehow Jessica knows I found her journal, that she's following me. My building looks normal from the outside, but when I get to my apartment door, I notice scratches around the lock that weren't there this morning. Fresh scratches, like someone's been practicing with a key that doesn't quite fit. Inside, everything looks exactly as I left it, but something feels wrong. It takes me a few minutes to figure out what it is. My bookshelf. 3 books are in the wrong order. Gone Girl, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and In the Woods, all the psychological thrillers I've been reading lately are now arranged spine out, perfectly visible from the doorway. Jessica was here today. While I was at work, she let herself in and staged my apartment to look like I'm obsessed with manipulative, dangerous people. She's building a narrative. I grab my laptop and frantically scroll through my browser history, looking for anything embarrassing she might have accessed. There's nothing terrible, just job applications, apartment listings in other cities, and yes, a lot of articles about psychological manipulation and narcissistic personality disorder. Articles I've been reading because something about my life felt wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on what. Now it looks like I was researching how to manipulate people myself. My phone buzzes with a text from my mom. Honey, Jessica called me today. She's very concerned about you. We think you should come home for a while. Just until you get back on your feet. Phase 4 isn't just about getting me evicted. It's about making everyone think I'm having a complete mental breakdown. The next entry in Jessica's journal confirms my worst fears. Asterisk November 18th, 2023, called Sarah's mother today. Told her I'm deeply concerned about Sarah's mental state. Mentioned the true crime obsession, the paranoid behavior, how she keeps talking about people being out to get her. Mrs. Patterson ate it up. She's already looking into treatment facilities for when Sarah has her inevitable breakdown. The beautiful irony is that Sarah actually is becoming paranoid because I'm making her paranoid. Self-fulfilling prophecies are my favorite kind. Asterisk. Treatment facilities. My mother is researching treatment facilities because Jessica convinced her I'm losing my mind. I call my mom immediately, not caring that it's 11:30 p.m. in Ohio. Sarah? Her voice is thick with sleep, but also worry. Honey, what's wrong? You sound upset. Mom, I need you to listen to me very carefully. Jessica is lying to you. About everything. There's a pause. Sweetie, Jessica is worried about you. We all are. She told me you've been acting erratic. And after what happened with David and your job. What exactly did she tell you? She said you become obsessed with violent TV shows, that you stay up all night researching, disturbing things. That you've been paranoid, thinking people are plotting against you. My mom's voice gets quieter. She said you accused your landlord of going through your mail, and that you've been sending strange texts to David's friends. I've never accused Mr. Rodriguez of anything. And I haven't contacted any of David's friends since our breakup. But I realize with growing horror that Jessica doesn't need me to actually do these things, she just needs people to believe I did. Mom, I found proof that Jessica has been sabotaging my life for 2 years. She's the reason David and I broke up. She's the reason I lost my job. She wrote it all down. Oh, honey. My mom's voice has that careful tone people use with psychiatric patients. Jessica said you might start making accusations like this. She's been researching it, and apparently when people have certain types of breakdowns, they often blame their closest friends. She's been researching it. Of course she has. Jessica probably sent my mother articles about paranoid delusions and persecution complexes. She's 3 steps ahead of me, even now. I'm taking pictures of her journal, Mom. I'll send them to you right now. Sarah, sweetie, you're scaring me. What journal? Did you break into Jessica's house? I freeze. How do I explain that I found Jessica's journal while helping her move without sounding like I was snooping? How do I prove I didn't plant it myself? In my panic to document everything, I never considered how this would look to other people. She asked me to help her pack last weekend. I found it by accident. You found a journal where your best friend supposedly confessed to ruining your life, and your first thought was to photograph it instead of talking to her? My mom sounds more concerned than ever. Honey, that doesn't sound like something a stable person would do. She's right. It doesn't sound stable. It sounds exactly like what someone having a paranoid breakdown would do. Jessica planned for this too. Even if I found evidence, she's already made sure no one would believe me. I hang up and immediately start uploading photos to an email, but my hands are shaking so badly I keep hitting the wrong buttons. The first 3 pictures are blurry. The 4th one cuts off half the page. By the time I get decent images, I've received 2 more texts. From Jessica, hey babe. Heard you called your mom super late. Everything okay? You're worrying us. Red heart. From my sister Amy, Mom called me crying. What's going on? She says you're having some kind of episode. An episode. Jessica has successfully convinced my family that I'm having a mental health crisis. When I try to show them proof of her manipulation, it'll just confirm their suspicions that I'm delusional. I flip to one of the final entries in the journal. Asterisk November 25th, 2023, the beauty of gaslighting someone is that eventually, they start to doubt their own reality. Sarah called me yesterday asking if she'd seemed different lately and whether I thought she was losing it. I told her that stress can make people imagine things. She actually thanked me for being honest. Sometimes I amaze even myself. Asterisk. I remember that conversation. I'd been feeling like I was going crazy, like I couldn't trust my own perceptions. Jessica held my hand and told me that trauma could make people see patterns that weren't there, that my mind was trying to find someone to blame for all the bad things that had happened. I'd felt so grateful for her honesty. The last entry is dated yesterday. Asterisk December 2nd, 2023, phase 4 acceleration needed. Sarah's stronger than I expected, she's not breaking down fast enough. Time to make her look truly unstable. Tomorrow I'll tell David she's been driving by his apartment. I'll tell her work friends she's been badmouthing them online. Anonymous complaints to her landlord start this weekend. By Christmas, everyone will agree that Sarah needs serious help. And I'll be the devoted friend who tried everything to save her. Asterisk. My phone buzzes again. This time it's David calling. I stare at his name on my screen, and for the first time all night, I smile. Because I know exactly what Jessica just told him. And now I'm ready to set a trap. I answer David's call on the second ring. Sarah, we need to talk. His voice is strained, careful. Jessica told me you've been driving by my place. Multiple times this week. Perfect. Right on schedule, just like Jessica's journal predicted. Have I now? I keep my voice calm, almost amused. What day specifically? Monday night around 11. Wednesday afternoon. And tonight around 9. He sounds tired. Look, I get that this is hard, but you can't. David, I want you to do me a favor. Check your building's security footage for those times. There's a pause. What? Your building has cameras in the parking garage, right? Check Monday at 11 p.m. Check Wednesday afternoon. Check tonight at 9. I'm pacing my apartment now, Jessica's journal open on my coffee table. I'll wait. Sarah, I don't think. I'm serious. Call your building manager right now. Tell him you need to see the footage because someone's been stalking you. I'll stay on the line. Another pause. Longer this time. Why would you want me to check the cameras if you were actually here? Because Monday at 11 p.m. I was at CVS buying NyQuil. I have the receipt. Wednesday afternoon, I was in a job interview at Brennan Marketing that lasted from 2 to 4:30. And tonight at 9, I was photographing evidence that my best friend has been systematically destroying my life for 2 years. What are you talking about? Jessica's been lying to you, David. About everything. The affair with Marcus that never happened. The gambling problem I don't have. The drug use my mother thinks she witnessed. All of it. I can hear him breathing on the other end of the line. She wrote it all down, I continue. Every lie she told you, every fake piece of evidence she created, every manipulation she used to turn you against me. 47 pages of it, in her own handwriting. That's... He stops. Sarah, that sounds... crazy? Paranoid? Like something an unstable ex-fiancé would make up? I flipped to page 31 of the journal. She knew I'd sound crazy. She's been setting it up for months. Tell me, has Jessica been unusually supportive lately? Really concerned about my mental state? Silence. Has she been the one suggesting that I might need professional help? That I'm not handling the breakup well? I'm reading directly from her notes now. David's wavering. Need to make him think Sarah's becoming dangerous. Stalking allegations should do it. Stop. His voice is different now. Uncertain. She called my mother yesterday and convinced her to research treatment facilities. She's been in my apartment, staging it to look like I'm obsessed with psychological thrillers. She even stole $1,200 from me by faking a dental emergency. Sarah. I can prove all of this. Every single detail. But first, I need you to check those security cameras. Because Jessica didn't just lie about me driving by your place, she probably did it herself. In a car that looks like mine. The silence stretches for almost a minute. What kind of car has Jessica been driving lately? I ask quietly. She borrowed her sister's Honda last week. Said her car was in the shop. His voice is barely a whisper. It's the same color as your Civic. Same model year too, I bet. Check the cameras, David. Please. I'll call you back. After he hangs up, I sit in my living room holding Jessica's journal, waiting. My phone shows 3 missed calls from Jessica in the past hour. She knows something's wrong. But she doesn't know I'm done being her victim. 20 minutes later, David calls back. The cameras, he says, and his voice is completely different now. Hello. The license plate, it wasn't your car. I know. Jesus Christ, Sarah. What has she done to us? David, I need you to listen very carefully, I say, gripping the phone tighter. This isn't over. According to her journal, she's just getting started with phase 4. She's planning to file anonymous complaints with my landlord this weekend. She wants me homeless by February. Phase 4? His voice cracks. There were phases? 4 of them. Written out like a business plan. I flipped through the journal pages. Phase 1 was planting seeds of doubt about me. Phase 2 was the fake affair evidence. Phase 3 was our breakup. Phase 4 is complete social and financial destruction. I hear him moving around, probably pacing his apartment the same way I am. Sarah, I need to see this journal. All of it. I'm not bringing it to you. She might be watching your place. It sounds paranoid, but after everything I've read tonight, I don't trust anything. Besides, she probably told you I'd show up with fake evidence of her betrayal, right? Part of my supposed mental breakdown? Silence. Which means yes. Meet me at Denny's on Route 9, I say. The one where we had our first date. Bring your laptop. I'm sending you the photos now, but I want you to see the actual pages. What if she finds out we met? She will. That's part of my plan. An hour later, I'm sitting across from David in the same booth where he'd nervously spilled syrup on his shirt 4 years ago. He looks like he's aged a decade since our breakup 2 months ago. His hair is longer, unkempt. Dark circles under his eyes. Jessica's manipulation didn't just destroy me, it destroyed him too. He's been scrolling through the photos on his phone for 10 minutes, occasionally glancing up at the physical journal I placed between us. His face cycles through confusion, recognition, horror, and finally rage. March 15th, he reads aloud. David asked Sarah about the missing money from their joint savings. Told him I saw her at the casino last weekend with some guy named Rick. He's starting to doubt her financial responsibility. Excellent progress. There is no Rick, I say quietly. And I've never set foot in a casino. I know. He flips to another page. She told me she was worried about your gambling 3 separate times. Said she tried to talk to you about it, but you got defensive. He looks up at me. You did get defensive when I brought it up. Because I had no idea what you were talking about. I thought you were accusing me of something I didn't do. The memory still stings. We fought for 2 hours that night. She comforted me afterward, David says, his voice hollow. Told me that addiction changes people, that it wasn't your fault. He keeps reading. Jesus, Sarah. April 2nd, David's birthday dinner tonight. Made sure to mention how Sarah forgot his mother's birthday last month. He looked hurt. These small disappointments add up beautifully. I remember that dinner. Jessica had casually mentioned David's mother's birthday while we were ordering appetizers, and I'd realized with horror that I'd completely forgotten it. I'd excused myself to the bathroom and cried for 5 minutes, then spent $200 on flowers that I had delivered that same night. I didn't forget, I tell him. I had it marked on my calendar. March 8th. But when I checked my phone that night, the reminder was gone. David looks up sharply. Gone? She had access to my Google Calendar. We shared it so she could help me keep track of wedding planning. I pull out my phone and show him. Look at March 8th now. He stares at my phone screen. It's blank. But look at March 15th. Mom's birthday, don't forget, he reads. But that's the wrong date. She moved the reminder to a week later, after the actual birthday had passed. I take a shaky breath. She made me look negligent and then offered to help me fix it. The perfect friend swooping in to save the day. David's hands are shaking as he turns more pages. She documented everything. Every lie, every manipulation. He stops at an entry from August. David's having second thoughts about the engagement. Time to escalate. The fake text messages between Sarah and Marcus need to look more authentic. Maybe some photos too. What photos? I ask, though I'm afraid of the answer. She showed me pictures of you and Marcus at Jenny's housewarming party. You were sitting close together on the couch, and in one shot it looked like you were kissing him. I remember that party. Marcus and I had been looking at something on his phone, wedding venues, actually, because he'd just gotten engaged himself. We were planning a surprise engagement party for his girlfriend. Jessica took those photos. I know that now. David closes the journal and puts his head in his hands. God, Sarah. I accused you of cheating. I called off our engagement. I told you I couldn't trust you anymore. She knew exactly what to say to you afterward, didn't she? He nods miserably. She said I was brave for walking away. That it took strength to admit when someone wasn't who you thought they were. He looks up at me with red-rimmed eyes. She held me while I cried about losing you. She brought me food when I couldn't eat. She listened to me talk about you for hours, while secretly celebrating that her plan worked. My phone buzzes with a text from Jessica. Haven't heard from you all day. Getting worried. David said you called him? Hope you're not dwelling on the past. Tonight's girls' night, my place at 8. We're watching rom-coms and eating ice cream. You need cheering up. Red heart. I show David the message. She wants me to come over tonight. Don't. His voice is sharp with panic. Sarah, she's dangerous. Actually dangerous. I know. But I'm going anyway. What? Why? I lean forward, lowering my voice even though we're the only customers in this section. Because phase 4 includes destroying my reputation with our mutual friends. According to her notes, she's planning to tell everyone that I've been spreading lies about them online. Anonymous posts on neighborhood Facebook groups, fake Yelp reviews using my name, maybe even some fake dating profiles. How do you know? Because it's all here. I flip to page 44. Sarah's remaining friends need to turn against her. Social media smear campaign starts Monday. Already created fake accounts using her photos and personal information. Amazing what people will believe when it comes from someone they think they know. David stares at the page. Monday. That's in 3 days. Which means I have until Sunday night to stop her. I stand up, putting the journal back in my bag. I'm going to her apartment tonight, and I'm going to record her confessing to everything. That's insane. What if she what? Kills me? I shake my head. Jessica's not violent. She's a coward who hides behind manipulation and lies. But she's also narcissistic enough that if I play this right, she'll want to gloat about how clever she's been. David grabs my arm. Sarah, please. Let's just take this to the police. And tell them what? That my former best friend hurt my feelings and wrote mean things about me in her diary? I pull away gently. She hasn't committed any crimes that we can prove. The fake screenshots could have come from anywhere. The anonymous HR complaints are untraceable. Even the money she stole, I gave it to her willingly. But the journal could be dismissed as creative writing or fantasy. Her lawyer would claim I planted it or forged it. I zip up my jacket. No, I need her to confess on tape. I need her to admit what she did, in her own words, where there's no room for doubt. Then let me come with you. Absolutely not. If she sees you, she'll know we've compared notes. This only works if she thinks I'm still her unsuspecting victim. I pause at the booth. But David? Keep your phone on tonight. And if you don't hear from me by midnight, call the police. As I walk toward the parking lot, my phone rings. Jessica's name flashes on the screen, and for a split second, I consider not answering. But then I remember page 47 of her journal, and I know exactly what I nay. I answer Jessica's call with a voice I hope sounds broken enough to satisfy her. Hey Jess, I say, letting exhaustion creep into my tone. Sorry, I've been MIA today. Sarah. Oh my god, I've been so worried. Her voice is syrupy with fake concern. You sounded really off yesterday, and when you didn't answer my texts. Are you okay, babe? I pause, like I'm struggling to find words. I think you might be right about me needing help. Professional help. There's a beat of silence, and I can practically hear her smile through the phone. Oh, honey. What happened? Did you talk to your mom? She wants me to come home to Ohio. Says there are some really good facilities there. I inject a tremor into my voice. Jessica, I think I might be losing my mind. I keep thinking people are out to get me, and I know that's crazy, but I can't stop. That's not crazy, sweetie. Trauma can make our brains play tricks on us. Her voice is so gentle, so understanding. If I didn't have her journal burning a hole in my bag, I might actually find it comforting. Listen, why don't you come over tonight? We can talk through everything. I did some research on anxiety disorders, and I think I can help you understand what's happening. Of course she did research. Probably printed out articles about paranoid delusions to show me. I don't know, Jess. I'm scared I might say something crazy again. Earlier I almost called David and accused you of. I trail off, letting her fill in the blanks. Accused me of what? Her voice is still sweet, but there's something sharp underneath it now. Nothing. See? This is what I mean. My thoughts aren't making sense anymore. I take a shaky breath. I keep having these paranoid ideas that someone's been sabotaging my life on purpose. Like orchestrating everything that's gone wrong. Oh, Sarah. Now she sounds genuinely sympathetic, probably because I'm describing exactly what she wants to hear. That's actually a really common trauma response. When bad things happen randomly, our brains try to find patterns, even when there aren't any. It makes us feel like we have more control. So you don't think I'm completely losing it? I think you're hurting, and your mind is trying to protect you by finding someone to blame. But honey, sometimes terrible things just happen. Sometimes life falls apart for no reason at all. The casual cruelty of that statement, coming from the person who orchestrated my life falling apart, makes my hands clench around the phone. But I force myself to sound grateful. You're probably right. God, Jess, what would I do without you? You're literally the only person who still believes in me. Always, babe. That's what best friends are for. She pauses. So you'll come over? I'm making that pasta you love, and I rented The Princess Bride. Comfort food and comfort movies. The Princess Bride. My favorite movie since childhood, which Jessica has always claimed to find boring and overly sentimental. But she knows it'll make me feel safe and nostalgic. Even her movie choice is calculated. That sounds perfect, I say. I'll be there in an hour. Perfect. Oh, and Sarah? Maybe don't mention our conversation to anyone else tonight, okay? I know your mom's been worried, and if she thinks you're having more paranoid thoughts. You're right. This stays between us. Good girl. See you soon. Love you. Love you too, I lie, and hang up. I sit in my car outside Denny's for a few minutes, scrolling through my voice recording app. I've already tested it twice. It picks up conversation clearly even when my phone is in my purse. The battery is fully charged. I have 3 different cloud backup services ready. But there's one more thing I need to do before I walk into Jessica's trap. I call my sister Amy. Sarah? Mom said you. Amy, listen to me. I need you to write down everything I'm about to tell you, word for word. If something happens to me tonight, I need someone to know the truth. Sarah, you're scaring me. What do you mean if something happens to you? I grip the phone tighter, watching the dashboard clock tick towards 7:30. I found proof that Jessica has been sabotaging my life for 2 years. Everything that went wrong, David, my job, even you and Mom thinking I'm on drugs, it was all her. That's... Amy's voice gets that careful tone I heard from Mom earlier. Sarah, that sounds really paranoid. I know how it sounds. That's why I need you to listen. I pull out my phone and start reading directly from the photos. November 8, 2023, told Amy that Sarah asked me to lie to their parents about her whereabouts last weekend. Made it sound like Sarah's hiding something serious. Sibling rivalry is such a useful tool. There's silence on the other end. Amy? Do you remember Jessica telling you that? Amy's voice wavers. She said you asked her to cover for you. That you were acting secretive and she was worried about who you were spending time with. I was at that accounting seminar in Boston. You can check the hotel records, the conference registration, everything. I flipped to another page. Here's another one, October 30th, Amy seems suspicious about Sarah's story regarding the family dinner she missed. Told her I've noticed Sarah lying about small things lately. Planted the seed that Sarah might be using again. Using again? Amy's voice cracks. Sarah, you've never used drugs in your life. But you started wondering, didn't you? After Jessica mentioned it? A long pause. She said she found something in your bathroom cabinet when she was house-sitting. Something that looked like. But she made me promise not to say anything because she wasn't sure. My stomach drops. When did she house-sit for me? Last month, when you went to that job interview in Portland. She said you asked her to water your plants. I never asked Jessica to house-sit. I don't even have plants. But I'd given her my spare key years ago for emergencies, and I'd been gone for 2 days. Plenty of time for her to plant whatever evidence she wanted Amy to worry about. Amy, I need you to promise me something. If I don't call you by 1 a.m. tonight, I want you to contact the police. Tell them I went to Jessica's apartment at 1247, Cedar Street, apartment 3B, and that I believed she was dangerous. Sarah, don't go there. Please. If you really think she's been doing all this, then I need proof that will hold up in court. Her journal is a start, but she could claim I forged it. I need her to confess on tape. I start my car, knowing I need to get moving. Amy, there's something else. She's been stealing from me. The journal mentions taking $1,200 for fake dental work, but I think there's more. Can you help me go through my financial records tomorrow? If I'm right, there might be a pattern. How much do you think she stole? I've been wondering the same thing. Remember when I couldn't afford to come home for Christmas 2 years ago? I told everyone I was broke because of holiday shopping, but I'd been really careful with my budget. And last summer when I had to borrow money from Dad for that car repair? Oh my God. Amy's voice is barely a whisper. Sarah, if she's been systematically stealing from you, then that's fraud. That's an actual crime with real consequences. I pull out of the Denny's parking lot, heading toward Jessica's apartment. But first, I need her to admit what she did to my relationship, my job, my reputation. All of it. What if she realizes you know? What if she gets violent? Jessica's not violent. She's a coward who works in shadows. But even as I say it, I realize I don't actually know that for certain anymore. I thought I knew Jessica completely, and I was wrong about everything else. Promise me you'll be careful. I promise. And Amy? If something does happen tonight, make sure David sees that journal. Make sure everyone knows the truth about who Jessica really is. As I hang up and drive through the darkening streets towards Cedar Street, my phone buzzes with another text from Jessica. Can't wait to see you. Made extra garlic bread red heart tonight's going to be exactly what you need. She has no idea how right she is. I'm sitting in my car outside Jessica's apartment building, and my hands won't stop shaking. The voice recorder app is open on my phone, tested 3 times. My purse is positioned so the microphone won't be muffled. Everything's ready, but I can't bring myself to get out of the car. Through her 3rd floor window, I can see warm light and Jessica's silhouette moving around the kitchen. She's probably plating that pasta she mentioned, arranging everything perfectly for her unsuspecting victim's final visit. The normalcy of it makes my skin crawl. My phone buzzes with a text from David. Please be careful. I have a bad feeling about this. I'm about to respond when I notice something that makes my blood freeze. There's another car in the parking lot that wasn't here when I arrived 5 minutes ago. A dark blue sedan with someone sitting in the driver's seat, engine running. I squint through the darkness, trying to make out who it is, when the person turns their head slightly and I catch a glimpse of their profile in the streetlight. It's Marcus. Marcus, the guy Jessica used in her fake affair evidence. Marcus, who's been dating someone else for 6 months and barely speaks to me anymore because he thinks I tried to seduce him at Jenny's party. What the hell is he doing here? My phone rings, startling me so badly I nearly drop it. Jessica's name flashes on the screen. Hey babe, I saw you pull up. Come on in, the food's getting cold. Her voice is cheerful, but there's something underneath it. Anticipation, maybe. Or excitement. Jessica, is someone else coming tonight? I saw Marcus's car in the parking lot. There's a pause. Marcus? No, why would, oh. She laughs, but it sounds forced. He's probably visiting someone else in the building. You know how many people live here. That's possible, but the timing feels wrong. And Jessica's laugh definitely sounds wrong. I'll be up in just a minute, I tell her, keeping my voice light. Just finishing a call with Amy. Of course. Take your time, honey. As soon as I hang up, I dial David's number. Sarah? What's wrong? Marcus is here, I whisper, ducking down in my seat in case anyone's watching. At Jessica's building. Sitting in his car like he's waiting for something. That can't be a coincidence. I need you to do me a favor. Call Marcus right now. Ask him what he's doing tonight. What do I say? We haven't talked since. I don't care. Make something up. But I need to know if Jessica asked him to come here. My mind is racing through possibilities, none of them good. What if this isn't just about getting me to confess to being paranoid? What if she's planning to stage something worse? David's quiet for a moment. Like what? I don't know. But Marcus thinks I tried to cheat on you with him. What if she's convinced him I'm dangerous? What if she told him I've been stalking him too? I flipped through my mental catalog of Jessica's journal entries. David, what if tonight isn't about getting me to accept that I'm crazy? What if it's about making me look genuinely threatening? I'm calling Marcus now. Stay on the line. I hear David dialing, then Marcus's voice through the speaker. David? Hey man, what's up? Not much, just, hey, weird question, but are you busy tonight? I thought I saw your car downtown. Yeah, I'm actually doing Jessica a favor. She asked me to swing by her place around 8:30. Marcus sounds casual, unsuspecting. She said Sarah's been having a rough time and might need someone to talk to. Something about making amends for that weird situation at Jenny's party? My stomach drops. She's using Marcus as a witness. What kind of amends? David asks carefully. I guess Sarah's been feeling guilty about coming on to me that night. Jessica thinks if we can clear the air, it might help Sarah move forward. Marcus pauses. She mentioned Sarah's been struggling with some mental health stuff since you guys broke up. Figured the least I could do was hear her out. David and I exchange a look through the phone, even though we can't see each other. Marcus, David says slowly, I don't think that's a good idea. Why not? Jessica said it was important for Sarah's recovery process. Recovery process. Jessica's setting up a scenario where I'm going to look unstable in front of Marcus, probably do or say something that will confirm all the lies she's already told him about me. Then Marcus becomes another witness to my supposed breakdown. I have to go up there, I whisper to David. If I don't show, she'll know something's wrong. Sarah, don't. This is obviously a setup. But I'm already getting out of my car, checking that my phone's recording app is still running. I'll be okay. Marcus isn't going to hurt me, and Jessica won't do anything violent in front of a witness. What if that's not what she has planned? I pause at the building entrance, keycard in hand. Then make sure everyone knows the truth about her journal. Promise me. Sarah. I hang up and walk into the building, my heart pounding so loud I'm sure the recording app will pick it up. The elevator ride to the third floor feels like it takes forever, and when I finally reach Jessica's door, I can hear voices inside. She's already talking to someone, probably giving Marcus last-minute instructions for whatever performance she has planned. I knock, and the conversation inside stops immediately. Sarah. Jessica opens the door with a brilliant smile, but her eyes are calculating. Perfect timing. Come in, come in. And there's Marcus, sitting on her couch with a cup of coffee, looking uncomfortable but determined. He stands when he sees me. Hey Sarah. Jessica thought it might be good if we talked. I look back and forth between them, and suddenly I understand exactly what Jessica has planned for tonight. She's going to make me look like I'm having a complete breakdown in front of Marcus, probably recording it herself. Then she'll have video evidence of my mental instability to show anyone who questions her story. But two can play that game. Marcus, I say, settling into the chair across from him, I'm so glad you're here. There's something I need both of you to hear. I settle into Jessica's chair, the familiar scent of her vanilla candles filling my nostrils, and for a moment I feel like I'm going to throw up. 2 years of sitting in this exact spot, crying about my problems while she rubbed my back and handed me tissues. 2 years of her listening to my fears about David pulling away, my confusion about losing my job, my guilt about forgetting his mother's birthday. She was listening to me describe the pain she was causing, and she was taking notes. So, Jessica says, perching on the arm of the couch next to Marcus with that bright smile that used to make me feel safe, I thought it would be good for you two to clear the air. Marcus has been feeling really awkward about that night at Jenny's, and I know you've been beating yourself up about it. Marcus shifts uncomfortably. Sarah, I want you to know I don't hold any grudges or anything. Jessica explained that you've been going through a lot since the breakup, and sometimes people act out of character when they're hurting. Act out of character. I never acted out of character. I never came on to Marcus. But Jessica's already rewritten history in his mind, just like she did with David. That's really generous of you, Marcus, I say, pulling my phone slightly higher in my purse to make sure it catches everything. But I have to ask, what exactly do you think happened that night? He glances at Jessica, who nods encouragingly. Well, you were pretty flirty. Sitting really close to me, touching my arm a lot. And then when we were looking at my phone, you tried to kiss me. I tried to kiss you while we were looking at engagement party venues for your girlfriend? Marcus blinks. What? That's what we were doing, Marcus. You were showing me photos of possible locations for Emma's surprise party. Remember? The one at Riverside Gardens that we ended up planning for the following weekend? I watch his face change as the memory clicks into place. Oh. Oh shit, you're right. We were. He looks at Jessica, confusion creeping across his features. But Jess said. What did Jessica say, exactly? I keep my voice gentle, non-threatening. Jessica jumps in before Marcus can answer. Sarah, honey, this is exactly what I was worried about. You're rewriting what happened to make yourself feel better. Her voice is patient, like she's talking to a child. It's okay to admit when we've made mistakes. You're right, I say, and Jessica's smile widens. It is important to admit our mistakes. Speaking of which, Jessica, how's your dental work healing up? You know, from that emergency procedure last May that cost $1,200? The smile freezes on her face. My, what? Your emergency dental work. The reason you needed to borrow money from me in May. I turn to Marcus. She was in such pain, poor thing. Though it's amazing how quickly she recovered. She was eating corn on the cob at Memorial Day barbecue just 2 weeks later. Marcus is looking back and forth between us now, sensing tension he doesn't understand. Sarah, Jessica says carefully, I think you might be confusing that with something else. I never had dental work done. Really? I pull out my phone, ignoring Jessica's sharp intake of breath. Because I have the Venmo transaction right here. May 20th, 2023. $1,200 to Jessica Chin. And my note says, hope your tooth feels better soon. I turn the screen toward Marcus, who reads it with growing confusion. Jess, he says. Did you borrow money from Sarah? Jessica's laugh sounds brittle now. I mean, friends help each other out sometimes. Sarah's getting confused about the details because of everything she's been going through. What details am I confused about? I ask sweetly. The amount? The date? Or the fact that you never paid me back? Sarah, you're being really aggressive right now, Jessica says, and I can hear the calculation in her voice. She's trying to make me look unstable in front of Marcus. This is exactly what I was worried about. These angry outbursts, these paranoid accusations. Marcus, I interrupt, can you do me a favor? Can you call Emma and ask her about the engagement party we planned? Ask her who suggested the venue, who organized the decorations, who came up with the idea in the first place. I don't think that's necessary, Jessica starts. Please, I say, looking directly at Marcus. Just call her. Right now. Marcus hesitates, glancing between us, then pulls out his phone. Emma? Hey babe, weird question, but do you remember who planned your surprise engagement party last year? I watch Jessica's face while Marcus listens to his girlfriend's response. Sarah did? Marcus says into the phone, his eyes widening. The whole thing was her idea? And she got my mom's recipe for those cookies you loved? A pause. Yeah, she was amazing. Really went above and beyond. When he hangs up, the room is dead silent. Marcus, I say quietly, if I was trying to seduce you at Jenny's party, why would I have spent the previous 3 weeks planning a surprise party for your girlfriend? Marcus stares at me, then at Jessica, then back at me. I can see the exact moment the pieces click together in his mind. Wait a minute, he says slowly. If Sarah spent weeks planning Emma's party, and we were looking at venues that night. His voice trails off as he turns to Jessica. Jess, you told me she was all over me. You said she was drunk and inappropriate. Jessica's composure is cracking, but she's still fighting. Marcus, you're letting her manipulate you. This is exactly what Sarah does, she twists situations to make herself look innocent. Her voice gets softer, more concerned. I'm worried about her mental state. She's been having these episodes where she can't remember things clearly. What episodes? I ask, pulling out my phone again. You mean like this one? I scroll to a voice memo from 3 weeks ago. This is you calling me on November 15th. Want to hear what you said? Jessica goes pale. Sarah, I don't think. I hit play. Jessica's voice fills the room, tinny but clear. Hey babe, just checking on you. I'm really worried about these memory issues you've been having. Yesterday you asked me the same question 3 times, and you seemed confused about what day it was. Maybe we should talk to your mom about getting you evaluated? I stop the recording and look at Marcus. I started recording our conversations because I was worried I actually was losing my memory. But Marcus, I want you to notice something. I never responded to anything she just said. Because she wasn't asking me questions. She was leaving me a voicemail, telling me I had memory problems I'd never experienced. Marcus is staring at Jessica now. You've been telling me for months that Sarah was acting erratic. That she was obsessed with me, that she'd been calling you crying about how she made a mistake with me. She was. Jessica insists, but her voice is getting higher. Marcus, she's obviously planned this whole thing. She's trying to make me look bad because she can't accept responsibility for her actions. Then explain the money, I say simply. Explain why you borrowed $1,200 from me for dental work you never had. That wasn't for dental work, it was. Jessica stops abruptly, realizing she's about to contradict herself. It was what? I lean forward. Because the Venmo note specifically says, hope your tooth feels better soon. If it wasn't for dental work, then I was lying in my own transaction note? The silence stretches for 30 seconds. Jessica is trapped and she knows it. Marcus, she finally says, her voice desperate now, you have to understand. Sarah's been spiraling since David left her. She's been making up these elaborate conspiracy theories about why her life fell apart. She can't accept that sometimes bad things just happen. But they didn't just happen, I say quietly. Did they, Jessica? I reach into my purse and pull out her journal, watching her face go white. What is that? Marcus asks. It's Jessica's journal. The one where she documented every lie she told about me for the past 2 years. I flip to a random page. November 18th, 2023, Marcus still believes Sarah tried to seduce him. Amazing how easy it was to reframe innocent behavior as predatory. He'll make an excellent witness when I need to prove she's unstable. Marcus's mouth falls open. What the hell, Jess? Jessica lunges forward, trying to grab the journal. That's not mine. She forged that. Marcus, she broke into my apartment and planted fake evidence. But I'm already reading another entry, October 3rd, 2023, convinced Marcus that Sarah's been asking mutual friends about his relationship status. Told him she seems obsessed with fixing what happened at Jenny's party. He's sufficiently creeped out now. Marcus stands up abruptly. Jesus Christ, Jessica. Sarah never asked anyone about my relationship. I would have heard about it from Emma. He looks at me with horror. You've been telling everyone that Sarah was stalking me? She was. Jessica shrieks, all pretense of calm gone now. She was always asking about you, always bringing you up in conversation. Because we were planning your girlfriend's engagement party. I shout back. Every conversation about Marcus was about surprising Emma. The recording app on my phone has captured everything, Jessica's lies, her contradictions, her admission that she spread rumors about me stalking Marcus. But more importantly, it's captured her complete psychological breakdown as her carefully constructed narrative falls apart. Marcus is backing toward the door. Jess, this is insane. How could you do this to Sarah? How could you lie to me for months? Because she doesn't deserve the life she had. The words explode out of Jessica before she can stop them. She doesn't deserve any of it. And there it is. Her confession, recorded and witnessed. The words hang in the air like a physical thing. Jessica immediately realizes what she said, her hand flying to her mouth, but it's too late. Marcus and I are both staring at her, and I can see in his eyes that he finally understands the depth of what's been happening. She doesn't deserve what life? Marcus asks quietly. Sarah never did anything to you. She got my promotion. Jessica's voice cracks, and suddenly she's not the composed manipulator anymore. She's a woman whose carefully built house of lies is collapsing around her. 5 years I worked at Morrison and Associates. 5 years of staying late, taking on extra clients, kissing ass. And they gave it to her after 18 months. I'm still recording, my phone hidden in my purse, capturing every word of this breakdown I never thought I'd witness. So you destroyed her entire life over a job? Marcus's voice is incredulous. You broke up her engagement, got her fired, turned her family against her, over a promotion? It wasn't just about the job. Jessica is pacing now, her perfectly styled apartment suddenly feeling like a cage. It was about everything. Sarah always got everything so easily. College came naturally to her while I had to study constantly. Men fell all over themselves for her while I had to work for every relationship. And then she waltzed into my company and charmed everyone within 6 months. Jessica, I say, my voice steadier than I feel, I worked 60-hour weeks for that promotion. I brought in 3 major accounts. I literally collapsed from exhaustion twice that spring. Poor Sarah, she spits, whirling around to face me. You have no idea what it's like to watch someone else live the life you deserve. To watch everyone love them effortlessly while you have to fight for scraps of attention. Marcus is slowly shaking his head. This is psychotic, Jess. Sarah was your best friend. She trusted you completely. And that made it so much easier, Jessica says, and there's something cold and satisfied in her voice now. Do you know how simple it was to turn David against her? One fake screenshot, one tearful conversation about being worried about Sarah's behavior. Men are so predictable when you cry and act helpless. My hands are trembling as I listen to her casual description of destroying my relationship. You held me while I cried about losing him. You helped me pack up the apartment we shared. I held you while you cried because it was the most beautiful sound I'd ever heard, she says, and the venom in her voice makes both Marcus and me step back. For 2 years, I got to watch you lose everything that should have been mine. Your job, your fiancé, your family's respect. It was perfect. Until tonight, I say quietly. Until tonight, she agrees, and suddenly she's smiling again. That same bright smile I've seen 1,000 times, but now I can see the calculation behind it. But you know what, Sarah? It doesn't matter that you found my journal. It doesn't matter that you figured it all out. Why not? Because who's going to believe you? Her voice is sing-song now, almost playful. Poor, mentally unstable Sarah, so desperate to blame someone else for her failures that she broke into her best friend's apartment and forged an entire journal full of lies. Marcus steps forward. I'll believe her. I heard everything you just said. Will you though? Jessica tilts her head, studying him. You'll really go to the police and tell them that your friend's ex-best friend convinced you she's been orchestrating some elaborate conspiracy? After Sarah spent months supposedly stalking you and trying to break up your relationship? I watch Marcus's face change as he realizes she's right. Even with everything he's heard tonight, it sounds insane when she puts it like that. Besides, Jessica continues, I have something Sarah doesn't. What's that? I ask, though I'm afraid of the answer. She pulls out her own phone, holding it up so we can see the screen. It's been recording this entire conversation. Proof that Sarah forced her way into my apartment tonight and tried to extort money from me using a forged journal, she says sweetly. Poor thing finally snapped completely. My heart stops as I stare at Jessica's phone, still recording. She's been documenting this entire conversation, probably editing it in real time to make me look like the aggressor. You're sick, Marcus says, backing toward the door. Both of you need help. Wait, I say desperately. Marcus, please don't leave. She's manipulating the situation again. But he's already grabbing his jacket. I can't deal with this. This whole thing is insane. He looks at me with something that might be pity. Sarah, I hope you get the help you need. The door slams behind him, and suddenly it's just Jessica and me in her perfectly arranged living room. She's still holding her phone, still recording, and now she's smiling that terrible smile again. Well, she says, settling back onto her couch like we're just having a normal conversation, that went better than I expected. Better? I can't hide the panic in my voice anymore. Marcus heard everything you said. He knows what you did. Marcus heard a mentally unstable woman make wild accusations and try to extort money from her concerned friend, Jessica corrects. That's what my recording will show, anyway. Amazing what good editing can do. I realize with growing horror that she's been planning this moment for weeks. The journal she left where I could find it, Marcus showing up tonight, even her breakdown just now, it was all theater. Another layer of manipulation. The journal, I whisper. You wanted me to find it. Of course I did. Do you really think I'd be careless enough to leave something that damaging where you could stumble across it? She laughs, and the sound makes my skin crawl. Sarah, I've been planning your complete destruction for 2 years. Did you think I wouldn't plan for the possibility that you'd eventually get suspicious? My phone is still recording in my purse, but now I'm terrified of what good it will do me. Jessica's right, without context, without proof, I sound exactly like someone having a paranoid breakdown. So what happens now? I ask. Now, you're going to transfer $5,000 to my account as payment for the emotional distress you caused me tonight, she says calmly. And then you're going to leave Dallas. Tonight. I don't have $5,000. Your savings account has $7,200 in it as of this morning. I know because I've been monitoring your finances for months. She holds up her phone again. Transfer the money, Sarah, or this recording goes to the police, your family, and every potential employer in the city. I stare at her, finally understanding the full scope of what she's done to me. It was never just about the promotion or even about destroying my life for revenge. It was about control. Complete, total control over another human being. You've been watching me this whole time, I say. Even after you got what you wanted. I got addicted to it, she admits with disturbing honesty. Watching you spiral, watching you blame yourself, watching you come to me for comfort while I planned your next disaster. It was intoxicating. My phone buzzes with a text, and Jessica's eyes sharpen. Who's texting you? I glance at the screen and see David's name. Police are on their way. Amy called them when you didn't check in. Jessica must see something change in my expression because she lunges for my phone, but I'm faster. I'm already dialing 911 when she tackles me, both of us crashing into her glass coffee table. The last thing I hear before everything goes black is the operator asking, 911, what's your emergency? I wake up on Jessica's hardwood floor with a splitting headache and a taste of blood in my mouth. My phone is nowhere to be seen, and there's broken glass scattered around me from her coffee table. Jessica is standing over me, holding what looks like a shard of glass, her face completely calm. You're awake. Good. She's changed clothes, no longer wearing the soft sweater from earlier, now in dark jeans and a black hoodie. We need to talk. I try to sit up and immediately regret it. Pain shoots through my left shoulder, and when I touch my forehead, my fingers come away bloody. How long was I unconscious? About 20 minutes. Long enough for me to take care of a few things. She gestures toward her kitchen counter, where my phone sits in pieces next to a hammer. Including making sure you can't record anything else tonight. The 911 call. I'd started dialing when she tackled me, but I don't know if it went through. Jessica, people know I'm here. David knows, Amy knows. David thinks you're having a mental breakdown and can't be trusted. Amy thinks you're delusional and making up conspiracy theories about your best friend. Jessica sits on her couch, still holding the glass shard casually. Even if they called the police, what are they going to say? That their mentally unstable sister/ex-fiancé went to confront someone with a fake journal? She's right, and the realization makes me feel sick. Even with everything I recorded earlier, even with Marcus as a witness, I still sound like someone having a paranoid episode. Jessica has been building this narrative for so long that the truth seems impossible. The journal is real, I say, struggling to my feet despite the dizziness. Everything in it is creative writing, she finishes. A therapeutic exercise my therapist suggested to help me process my concerns about your declining mental health. That's what Dr. Martinez will testify to, anyway. Dr. Martinez. She's even involved her therapist in this. You planned all of this. I planned for every contingency, Sarah. That's what you never understood about me. She stands up, moving between me and the door. You always thought I was just your supportive friend, content to live in your shadow. You never saw how intelligent I actually am. Through her window, I can see flashing lights in the parking lot. Red and blue, reflecting off the cars below. Someone did call the police. They're here, I whisper. Jessica follows my gaze and smiles. Perfect timing. I called them myself 10 minutes ago to report that my mentally ill friend broke into my apartment and attacked me. She runs the glass shard lightly across her forearm, just deep enough to draw blood. Self-defense, you understand. You're insane. I'm thorough. She drops the glass and grabs a kitchen knife instead, holding it like she's afraid of me. When they get up here, they're going to find you confused and violent, probably still trying to attack me with pieces of broken glass. Tragic, really. Heavy footsteps echo in the hallway outside, followed by a sharp knock. Police. Open up. Help. Jessica screams, her voice suddenly terrified and convincing. Please help me. She has a weapon. I look around frantically. The broken glass at my feet, my destroyed phone, the journal that Jessica could easily claim is fake. Even my own recordings are worthless now. She's cornered me completely. The door explodes inward as officers force their way in, guns drawn, shouting commands I can barely process over the ringing in my ears. But as they storm in, I see something Jessica didn't plan for. David is right behind them, holding his phone up, live streaming everything to Instagram. And he's been recording since before they entered the apartment. Stop right there. Both of you, hands where I can see them. The police officers have their weapons drawn, but David's phone is still recording as he pushes past them into the apartment. I can see the red dot indicating he's live on Instagram, and the viewer count is climbing rapidly, 347 people and rising. Officers, thank God you're here, Jessica says, her voice shaking with perfectly performed fear. She's still holding the kitchen knife, but now she's pointing it at me. She broke in and attacked me. Look at my arm, she cut me with that glass. But David steps forward, his phone capturing everything in high definition. Jessica, tell them about the journal. Tell them about Phase 4. Her face goes white. David, what are you doing here? I thought. You thought I'd stay away while you framed Sarah for assault? David's voice is steady, authoritative. Officers, this woman has been systematically destroying my ex-fiancé's life for 2 years. We have documented evidence. Sir, step back, one officer commands, but David holds his ground. The evidence is in that journal on the floor, I say, pointing to where Jessica dropped it during our struggle. Every lie she told, every manipulation, it's all written in her handwriting. That's not mine. Jessica shrieks, but her voice cracks. She forged it. She's been stalking me, threatening me. Then explain this, David says, pulling out his laptop with his free hand while still filming. I've been monitoring Jessica's location data for the past week through the Find My Friends app she never turned off. The officers lower their weapons slightly, sensing the shift in the situation. Last Monday at 11:47 p.m., she was parked outside my apartment building for 3 hours, David continues, reading from his screen. Wednesday afternoon, she was there again from 2:15 to 4:30. Tonight at 9:23 p.m., she drove past in her sister's Honda Civic, the same car that matches witness descriptions of someone stalking me. Jessica's knife hand starts trembling. That's not. She drove past my building in a car that looks exactly like Sarah's, then told me Sarah was stalking me, David says to the officers. She created the evidence for her own accusations. One of the officers, a woman with sergeant stripes, steps forward. Ma'am, I need you to put the knife down. Now. But she attacked me. Jessica gestures wildly at the broken glass, the blood on her arm. Look what she did. I can see the cuts on your arm, the sergeant says calmly. But they're horizontal and shallow. Defensive wounds are usually deeper and run vertically. These look self-inflicted. I watch Jessica's entire facade crumble as the officer's words sink in. The Instagram livestream now shows 1,247 viewers, and comments are flooding in from people who recognize us, people who've heard Jessica's lies about me over the past 2 years. Sarah, are you injured? The sergeant asks me. She hit me with something when I tried to call 911, I say, touching the cut on my forehead. I was unconscious for about 20 minutes. The sergeant nods to her partner, who approaches Jessica. Ma'am, you're under arrest for assault, false imprisonment, and filing a false police report. This is insane. Jessica screams as the handcuffs click into place. You're believing a mentally ill woman over me. Check her medical records. Ask her family. But David is already pulling up more evidence on his laptop. Officers, we also have financial records showing she defrauded Sarah of at least $1,200, possibly more. And we have recordings of her admitting to creating fake evidence to destroy Sarah's relationship and career. As they lead Jessica toward the door, she turns back to me one last time. You think this is over? You think people will just forget everything I told them about you? Actually, David says, still filming, I think 1,500 people just watched you get arrested for stalking, fraud, and assault. The internet has a long memory, Jessica. The apartment falls quiet after they leave, except for the sound of David ending his live stream. He immediately starts uploading backup copies to 3 different platforms. Sarah, he says softly, finally looking at me instead of his phone. I am so sorry. For everything. For not believing you, for not seeing what she was doing. I sink onto Jessica's couch, exhaustion hitting me like a wave. You couldn't have known. She spent 2 years making sure you wouldn't believe me if I ever figured it out. But I should have trusted you. I should have known you'd never cheat, never lie to me about money, never. His voice breaks. I threw away the best thing in my life because I believed her over you. We both did what she wanted us to do, I say quietly. That was her gift, making us complicit in our own destruction. My phone might be destroyed, but David's live stream has already been saved and shared dozens of times. By morning, everyone in our social circle will know the truth about Jessica Chen. Her new job will probably see it. Her dating profiles will be worthless. Her reputation will be demolished. She spent 2 years methodically destroying my life. It took one night to destroy hers completely. And for the first time in months, I finally feel like I can breathe again.